I really wanted to convey, not all the pretty stuff that's happening in the world and, write my songs to maybe sometimes uncomfortable things to hear, but it's happening in the world,
Hello and welcome to Where the Living Room Used to Be, a podcast about Rhode Island's music scene. Hey everyone, it's James. On this episode, singer-songwriter Beth Barron and I connected outside of the Warren Folks Festival for a quick chat to talk about her path in music, how she's overcome some artistic hurdles, and we give you a little preview of what to expect at the 8th annual Rhode Island Folk Festival that she's a part of planning. The festival takes place at Rose Larisa Park in East Providence on Sunday, August 28th, and we look forward to seeing you there. As always, I hope you enjoy, and please follow Where the Living Room Used to Be on Instagram, as I'll be sharing some show photos, flyers, and more from Beth's time in music over the coming weeks. Can you talk a little bit about where you grew up? Did you grow up in East Providence? Is that correct?
Yeah, I grew up in East Providence, and and whatnot. And I kind of moved around for a bit and did some traveling. And I went to school at URI for actually mental health, and I got my master's there, and I became a child and family therapist.
Yep.
and I kind of took a step back, and I found this great space over in the East Bay, and I started teaching back in East Providence.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But what got you into music? Or when did you start playing guitar? Was it something that you did as a child, or?
Yeah, I'm actually I played classical piano for years since I was little, but never sang. No. And then later on, I always wrote poetry and songs, and I thought my voice wasn't actually pretty enough for the piano, so I taught myself guitar.
Oh, really?
And and I just wanted to kind of get my originals finally out there. So something in life, in my life, I just had this big shift, and I wanted to be my most honest self. So I started sharing about maybe 5 years ago.
Okay, but you've been playing music this whole time and just not sharing it with others, or
I always wrote, but I played in a trio, Marble Street Trio, and I played actually percussion with them.
Oh, okay.
Irish band, bluegrass.
When was
band.
that? When did you? What year was that?
That was back in maybe 2014, 15.
Okay.
But that was my first band. But I played other instruments, and I just really wanted to finally share my stuff.
Yeah.
So it took a long time to get brave enough to get those out.
Yeah. I mean, my association with you is I see that you're playing all the time now. So even hearing you kind of, being hesitant to get out there and get on stage, it just seems that you do so much. And, another thing that I think about is that you have, good connection to open mics. You would run the one at SQ for a while. Can you talk about that experience? And was that something that you felt kind of passionate about, of just helping people get their voices out there? Or?
Yeah, I wanted to be what I needed. I think I was even playing music more in the Boston area, doing Irish music in the sessions, and I learned a lot about working with other, people in that regards. But for myself, I think that comes with the teacher aspect as well. How do you teach? You want to be what you needed when you were that age, or when you were in that space. Yeah. So when I was asked by John from Askew, I was really grateful that, he was like, hey, do you want to put this together, the open mic? And it was kind of I was too intimidated by the big stage, so I shifted over where the piano was.
Yeah, that little couch area.
Because I needed to adapt so I could, I allowed myself to be vulnerable with anyone else who needed to be. You know what I mean? But still, brave to share the song. So it was just a safe place for music I really wanted to create.
Yeah. Do you remember your first show as a solo artist?
I do.
Yeah, what was that?
It was at Galactic Theater.
Oh, yeah? Right here in Warren?
Yes, nice. Yeah. I remember I was going up there, and I guess that's more so when I shared finally an original song up there, and it was I felt so vulnerable. I was like, here it is. And I was so nervous. I kind of was like stumbling over the guitar. So I just did the downbeat. And I just sang it. And, when it got that, the response that it did, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't think anyone was ever going to listen.
Oh, really? Like,
but it was, it was like one of those, like, steps that made me brave to share it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so were you performing covers, or were you like
mostly like a cover here and there?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to get all my originals out there.
Okay, yeah. I gotcha. Yeah. Do you have some singles that are out now?
I do on Spotify. I have I'm Alive, which was amazing. Newcastle Sound recorded that. And that was a different experience too, just recording in general. I learned a lot. And local Steve Demers, he plays lead guitar. On a Bob Juice, he does drums.
Oh, cool.
It was a cool way to collaborate with folks who do support me in the songwriting. It was a really cool experience. And the other song is called Kiss My Cheek with Ben Richard. He's a fiddle player, and he's local to Warren too. Yeah. And he's on it. So you can find those on Spotify.
Yeah. Do you have plans for other recordings?
Working on it now.
Yeah, what are you working on?
An album. Yeah. An album, and with a lot of collaboration from local artists playing with me. So it's been a cool experience. So hopefully this time next year.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Is that at Newcastle as well, or are you working at a different? Have you started recording it yet? Or
I've been. Yes.
Just prepping
I'm going to be working with them definitely, and I've been actually really diving in because I created my kind of recording space to work on that, so I can be prepared and collaborating with the other folks. It's been a very cool experience.
Oh, definitely. No, that's great. But yeah, I mean, you bring up the Galactic Theater here. It's a fantastic spot in Warren. Can you talk about your experience of playing there, because I know that you frequent there as well. What's it like for you to be on stage there?
Yeah. Oh God, Galactica. It was when I was first performing there. I just it's a small space, but I just love the Warren community in general. It was a community of just allowing folks to be themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's daunting, kind of feel judged. You try not to, but even me as a performer, or when I just started playing, the support that is here and that was at Galactic, I just kind of felt safe with, having that safe space allowed me to kind of grow more so. And Dave was always very supportive. Yeah. And he's just a great and good friend. Yeah. So.
No, yeah, he's a great guy, and just seems that he just wants to provide that platform for people to get on stage and express themselves. Seems like a key thing.
Actually, there in the parlor were my first gigs. Okay. The parlor was actually the first time I ever did an open mic by myself. Okay. No guitar, no anything. I forgot about that. Yes, at the parlor, that was the first time I just went. I was like, I just want to sing, which I never did solo in front of anyone before. Yeah, I did, and I think Gregory was just like, I loved your honesty or whatever. Yep. It was so. That's I would have both of them, and they're good folks.
Yeah, but that kind of reminds me. So you've obviously running open mics. Were there any memorable times or any certain performers that you saw that kind of caught your ear? Oh wow, this person is doing something that's that kind of caught you by surprise in a sense, or anything like that, or just a special moment that you were able to be a part of by going to these open mics and being a part of that?
I don't know, at the open mic I kind of was always mindful of my attention to the performer. Yeah. Because you're talking to other folks and to really sit there and listen, and it's all right if other folks are talking, whatever, it's fine by, having that attention. But I remember there was this big man who walked in. He was from Crossroads actually, and a lot of those folks, came over, and he was, big guy, and he, I guess he signed up. I introduced myself, and he was, he was louder than most of them, but it's all right. I'm very loud too at times and whatnot. But he asked me, he's like, "Oh, Beth, it's all right. I signed up, but if you don't want me to play, it's okay. Like, did you skip over my name?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. You're next." And he was, when he got up there and he sang with no instrument, it was like God's grace, like, just came down. Wow. He had the voice of, like, I, like, was in awe, and it kind of, like, shut everybody up.
Yeah.
And, it actually got me emotional because he thought, like, maybe his, like, life situation, what he shared with me, he thought I was going to, like, skip over his name or something like that. But it was probably the most beautiful, and I was like, "You're always invited here."
Yes, yeah.
And that was a very, very cool moment.
Yeah.
Allowing anyone to perform, there's no,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. That's perfect. That I love hearing those types of stories and just knowing that. That's why it's important to show up and to, and why I love live music and love all of this stuff is that you can have those moments that when you're there, that it just, when the stars align, so to say, just that you can have this, like, emotional experience that, I don't know, it drives me. I'm sure that it drives.
It does, because that one will last, and sometimes I teach music lessons on the side, they're between the ages of, like, 5 and 8.
Okay.
5 to 9, and I'm like, what? You'll be the featured artist at the open mic, because it was an earlier time, like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'd have some of my kids sometimes come and play.
Oh, that's cool.
And just, respect never changes. I don't care, whatever age you are, and there's a certain time when it's too late, but it was a cool interaction. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah.
And with teaching that you're just talking about, what do you teach, and how did you get into that?
Oh, well, I work in the East Providence school system, and I work with nonverbal special needs children. Yeah. And I got into that because my minor is in education, but I was in mental health for a long time.
Okay.
A long time working at Bradley and whatnot, and, taking a step back, I think, from quarantine, realizing it does have a lot of heaviness. Yeah. Working in the mental health.
Yeah.
It's still a business, Yeah. And I really wanted to redirect what I do and what I'm passionate for without getting burnt out.
Yeah, okay.
So I thought I could bring that mental health, like, background into the public school and daily life, and I'm really happy I did.
Yeah.
Because there's this, like, balance. It puts things in perspective to play music. Music helps me go so I can separate from what I do during the day.
And did that lead you then into, like, being a music teacher, or is that where you're, like, how you said you were teaching some kids?
I just taught that during quarantine. I kind of created my own business because I needed to. I adopted a cat, and I started teaching music lessons to old students I used to have.
Oh, okay.
And I had, like, up to 22 students on Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Because I just needed to feel like I was doing something, because quarantine, that was intense for all of us. But so I just put it out there that I was teaching. And
were you teaching piano, or were you
piano, guitar, and ukulele?
Oh, wow.
And it made me a better teacher and musician to see if I can actually do this.
Yeah.
Like, through Zoom. I was like, I don't know how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And they were mostly children.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But you've kind of held back on that now that things have opened up. Are you still teaching? Like, can people connect with you on that? Or?
Absolutely. Right now I'm at kind of my max, and I have about, like, 5 students that I still teach. And 5 of those students are going to be actually performing at the Rhode Island Folk Fest.
Oh, fantastic.
On the emerging artist stage. Because what's more emerging than kids who have written their own songs to perform on the stage? I'm co-hosting with Joanne Lergio.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a great segue to talk about this coming weekend. Again, it's August 28th from noon to 6 at Rose Larisa Park, the Rhode Island Folk Festival, which you're a part of. Yeah, can you talk about the stage that you're co-hosting, and then just the festival in general, just to get people excited about that?
Yes, I'm doing the Emerging Songwriter stage with Joanne Lergio, and that's more of, like, the open mic kind of, that we've booked, that we've just noticed, like, local musicians in the area to, that maybe some folks haven't heard of, and, to really introduce them. And then Allison Callery is doing the Songbird stage. Yeah. And then you have the Band Shell stage, and that is just like a, Julie Rose is going to be performing. We got some, like, killer acts, and we just implemented the Young Folks tent.
Okay, what's that?
It's the children's tent. It's a children's music tent that I was really passionate about, and Morgan Johnson is going to be helping out, and some other volunteers, and we're going to be creating our own instruments, like a shaker, to like really go to the different stages and dance and be a part of it. And also exploring, the community has donated like a lot of used instruments.
Okay.
So I've been around picking them up so the kids can explore and play it.
Oh, that's great.
Because I'm a big believer in the children. I'm really excited for this to happen. And then Mark Cutler's doing a songwriters group.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of cool things.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So for your stage, is there a lineup for your stage, or is it more like, so who's playing at the Emerging Artists? Is there a couple?
You know what? We have folks like, folks that would even come to my open mic, Sam Carlson, he's a fantastic singer-songwriter, and he'll be performing. And also, it's like, what are we emerging from? A lot of folks maybe you have heard of are channeling like their new solo stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I really try to, adapt other, and like Bill Bartholomew will be performing.
Oh, great.
And whatnot. Ben Richard, who's my fiddle player, he does great solo stuff.
Yep.
And this other great musician, Craig Reck, who gives a, great slide guitar.
That's awesome.
And then we have a couple of duos, and it's really exciting. And also Ed Dean, he's a part of RISA. So we're,
Rhode Island Songwriters Association.
That I'm a part of as well. So just trying to make it all community.
Yeah. And then with the Songbird stage, I know like Bank of Ireland is playing.
Yes, Bank of Ireland is actually here somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Are there any other names that you want to shout out for that particular stage?
Yeah, Julie Rhodes.
Yeah.
Band Shell and Allison. Yes, Bank of Ireland and Off Base. I can't think of someone offhand, but I know it's fantastic because Allison did it.
Bouquet is playing, right?
Yes, Bouquet. Yeah.
But Jake Blunt is playing the band shell, which I've actually never.
He's fantastic.
Got to see him. I believe that he lives in my neighborhood. There's this like great neighborhood of like Armin and Ben from Vox Hunters live there.
They're so talented. Actually, I met them when I was doing an Irish session at Patrick's Pub.
Oh, really?
When I was doing the border on Tin Whistle, like they were playing there, and I used to go there because I taught myself. I did love the concept of Irish music and the session, and I learned a lot more about music than to play with others. But that's how I met them. They're so talented.
I love it. That session comes up a lot in the interviews that I do. It's just such an important part of Rhode Island's music scene and its history.
It's been on for so long.
Yeah, it's incredible. But I'm excited to see Jake, with what he's been doing and the awards he's been getting. And I'm just a fan. So I've for some reason never been able to catch him, but I'm looking forward to that. And Dan Lilly's playing, right?
Yes.
Keepers and it's just a fantastic lineup. And I have to say, I've been able to go the last few years, and I will personally endorse it. That it's just such a fun time. I bring my kids. It's right along the bay. Just a huge grass hill that you can hang out at. Pretty shaded.
It is, yeah. It's a beautiful space.
The vendors that you usually bring in there are wonderful.
Oh, yeah, Pelagi's and,
It's across from the carousel, which is now open.
It's now open. That's how I'm getting, all the kiddos there. That's,
So come to the Crescent Park Carousel. It hasn't been open the last few years that the festival's been going on there. Because this is I want to say 7th year?
7th, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So,
because it used to be in Providence.
As the Providence Folk Festival. And it's just grown quite a bit, right? When did you get connected with the festival?
I was asked to be a part of it 2 years ago in preparation for last year. And, I'm really grateful for John Fusick. He's done a lot in the community and doing something that he believes in. And on the board that I'm working on, it was like an honor to be asked to be a part of it. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
But it's cool to be something that to do something I believed in when I was even younger. So it's cool to be that now. Mm-hmm. And bringing the kids in, the Folk Fest, and it'll be a great time on Sunday.
Yeah. And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah, in case we didn't say that. I can't remember if we said that or not, but it's free. So,
it's free.
Yeah, check that out. RhodeIslandFolkFest.com.
Yes, on the website, and you can make donations in any way or be a part of it as a volunteer in like the time to come, even if you want to at any time be like a volunteer. We just love to, have everyone a part of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty small crew from what I understand. It's like you and John Fuzek, you just mentioned.
Yes, and Allison Callery and Jen Long, one for the wheel guitar, and oh God, and Lisa Kudo, I just saw actually, and I just like a beautiful group of folks, and Ken and Abrams, and they just like just having it grow. So it's really cool, and I'm figuring it out as I go as well. Yeah, learning a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm there for the jokes.
You're there for the jokes?
Yeah,
like between everyone.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Insert joke now. It's too serious.
I gotcha. Oh, that's your job. Everyone's getting really tense about this stuff, and you're like, I'm going to tell a joke now.
Yeah. And it's not going to be funny.
It's not okay. Promise you that. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, as I mentioned, I see that you're playing a lot of different places. Can you talk about some of the places that you're playing, whether it's like a brewery or some of the other venues, like what's your experiences playing around Rhode Island here? I play
at, I've learned a lot about where the music that I play and where I do feel my most honest self, performing. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool to find those great spaces. Yeah. That meet that, you still have opportunities to grow and challenge yourself. However, certain places that want big, loud, and upbeat. Yeah, I've tried. Mm-hmm. And it's great, but it's really cool to redirect and go to spaces that work for yourself as well as a performer. So I played at Tiny Bar, which is fantastic in Providence. Oh, cool! They're so lovely, and it's such a romantic scene. Original music, if I play at Galactic, and they have shows over there, but I play a lot at in the East Bay, like Portside, the Beach House, earlier gigs, and they've just all been so lovely. Yeah. I think for a long time, as a young, as a musician, being okay and confident with what you do. Yeah. I think there's, maybe I got to do this and that. Yeah, we all want to work on stuff, but it's really cool just to be solid in what and confident in what perform. And I always make a joke this is not where the dancing music is. Yeah. I became a folk musician so I didn't have to. Yeah. I mean, what inspires your songwriting? Are there certain themes to your songs that you like to bring out, or even certain artists that you that your ear kind of goes towards that inspires your songwriting? Oh, absolutely. Because I always felt like my voice was grittier and maybe just, I really want, the songs that I wrote, I wanted to, it's so funny when I look back at my writing and, things that are real and happening and maybe more, I really wanted to convey, not all the pretty stuff that's happening in the world and, write my songs to maybe sometimes uncomfortable things to hear, but it's happening in the world, I've written, songs about experiences I've had, maybe teaching or with a child or something that, I don't know, just, real world events. I was always I'm not going to write a love song. I'm not going to write a love song, because at that, time, I just wanted to almost these grittier songs, I have this song, The Ballad of Susie Girl, and, channeling, what happens, domestic abuse, and it doesn't get out there, but it's you want to convey it so everyone doesn't run out of the room being uncomfortable. Yeah. So but still touch on these things that need to be talked about. So, but in a way where, it's a story and it challenged me to go into these layers of myself and how do I convey them. And, my songwritings were all based on real things. I've maybe even seen with families that I've worked with and my own life. You know, I always had to say, like, you know, it's all pretty honest.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I want to be. So it's a cool. You know, the way I am now is because I've learned a lot, even just from watching, you know, performers, like even like Allison Callery, one of the most authentic, you know, honest performers, like, you know, as a solo artist. And I've learned a lot from folks who came to the open mic. You know?
No, exactly. I mean, that's what comes to mind as well, of just engaging with music and going and seeing live music and just being a part of it. I've learned a lot just from, bands that I probably don't even know. They opened for some other band I was going to see, but I picked up some like cool little drum thing, probably whatever else, you know. And, so yeah, it's just important to show up and be a part of something, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
And even Ben Shaw is bringing this awesome thing at Warren House.
Yeah,
I'm going to be performing there in September, and like Ben, it's so cool just to see that community happen, and you know, it's that's important.
Yeah, yeah. What else do you have coming up in the future then?
Well, I guess the big thing is the Rhode Island Folk Fest. Really, I know that's short term now because school's going to be starting up. And then you could check me out, like, you know, on my Facebook, Beth Barron, like whenever I'm going to be playing. I'm, you know, been pretty consistent, you know, until the new year. But, you know, the big thing is the Rhode Island Folk Fest, getting ready for it.
Cool.
You know, which will be a great time. Come.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Is there anything else that I forgot about your career that you wanted to talk about?
That was cool. That was great.
Okay. Cool. Right.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be this is a pretty cool podcast, and people like love it and support you.
Oh, thank you.
Living used to be. It's a very cool thing, so I'm really grateful.
Oh yeah.
You know, to be a part of it.
Well, Beth, I have one more question for you in this main segment about your career, and it's a big one. You know, if you've listened, you probably know what the question is. But what would you say is your greatest accomplishment tied to music to this point?
Being brave just to do it.
Yeah.
And then I just grown. And, you know, I think creating a safe place for music. I think I created that, and I want to. That's probably my greatest accomplishment. Making a place, an open place for music. When it comes to a farmer's market, a gig, and there are kids there, and you put the shakers out, or you know, with the joke or anything like that, it's creating a safe place for music.
Yeah. But was that a lot of like an internal battle to get on stage? Like, were you like, I'm ready to do this, but then like you couldn't get that final push for a while?
God, perform? No, I was never ready to do it.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like, I'm here, I can't, you know, or if it was just
I felt like there's something I started to learn because it terrified me so much. I guess it was worth it because of what I felt afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
And I just felt more and more like my most honest self.
Yeah.
So that's a big.
It is, yeah.
You know?
No, and I think it's a great answer to this question because it just really gets to that like core of, and I'm sure that there are people that will hear this and you know, hopefully benefit from that as well.
I
you know,
hope so
there's just
too.
so many people that you know are learning music, want to be able to perform and just know that like it can take a lot to get up there. And I mean, I've been fortunate. I'm just a drummer. I'm cool to hang out in the back. I'm just, you know, here. Nobody really knows that much. I mean, but it can be a lot to go out there. You know, the songwriters I've been fortunate to play in Barn Burning for. You know, Anthony is an extremely honest person.
Oh, Anthony's fantastic. Yeah.
You know, writes these like amazing, honest songs, and I've just never had to be there. You know, but talking to Christian, it's a very emotional and like draining thing to like put these songs out there and then to go out and perform and have all of these other things. I just commend you and every other songwriter that has to go out and do this, that are like writing these songs and being authentic, like what you say, you know, like it's, it can take a lot of strength to go and do that and be able to not only just execute it as you want, but then just be ready to accept what you get in response from it, you know? So
that could be anything.
Yeah. So.
You know, but it made me stronger.
Definitely,
you know, body, mind, soul, and compartmentalize, and you know, when to work on, when to leave there, you know. So maybe so it's all good. Good question.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Beth. I appreciate you talking about your history and kind of like how you got to where you are now in music. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the folk festival and looking forward to catching you again sometime soon and for that record that you're working on right now. It's really cool to know that that's happening, and because these couple of songs just not enough for everyone.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, more honest to come.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling tired, I think it's time to begin a life where I love myself and my sin. When this kind of tired, don't feel like the old kind. When I fall into bed, I don't get lost in my mind. When I say fall, don't hurt so bad. Well, he chose me as the best friend I've ever had. When I say he chose him too. For another to understand just what makes you you. To understand means I won't run away. I walk with the truth that I thought I could never attain. When I say true, it means I lie. I lie 'cause I thought no one could understand my kind. To be kind, I mean down to the soul, which I choose to be for the rest of my days and more. When I say so, it will stay. Sing of hope and forgiveness of myself and what life brings. Oh, forgiveness don't mean I regret. Well, the choices I made brought me to a safe warm day. When I say I sleep with ease. Well, the nightmares are gone and I greet the morning in peace. In the morning, I breathe in deep. I breathe out with a sigh as a tear falls down my cheek. Oh, this tear don't feel like the old kind. It's full of warmth and love. It reminds me I'm still alive.